Hello and welcome. It's 11 a.m. here in Seoul. I'm Ji-young at the Arirang News Center. We're breaking into our regular programming to bring you the latest live briefing from the South Korean health authorities on the COVID-19 outbreak. Let's take a listen.
We also have sign language translation available for you today. First of all, here is Mr. Son Young-lee, Director General of Strategic Planning for the COVID-19 briefing. Let us now begin our regular briefing for July 20th, Tuesday. In the metropolitan area, we have some measures to revise and implement some elevated measures at the places of worship. And we would like to, first of all, extend our deepest appreciation for your participation from the religious circles. And thus, we have been able to see a downward trend in the number of new infections stemming from such facilities. Currently, we have level 4 social distancing placed in the Greater Seoul area, and all of the religious services need to switch to non-face-to-face meets. And recently, the court has also said that as for the places of worship that are deemed to have difficult and challenges to have remote services, they have been given the opinion that these facilities need to be given the freedom and the right to switch to face-to-face meetings and services. And to this end, we have also, together with the religious circles, shared our opinions. And in general, in principle, we are also mandating all of the religious services to switch to non-face-to-face means during the level 4. However, under such circumstances where it is deemed to have challenge or also deemed difficult, we will be allowing them to have the physical services. Moreover, as for the places of worship that do not have seats, we will make sure that they have 2-meter distance within people, and we will also restrict the number of users, and all of the people who are there need to be restricted to about 10% of the attendance cap. Right now, we are also partially allowing these religious services at these religious places of worship. However, we are at a very grave risk, and thus we ask you to switch to non-face-to-face means as much as possible for the sake of your health and that of your neighbors. And even when you are at these religious services physically, we ask you to comply with these basic quarantine rules at all times. During the past weekend in Seoul City, we have been looking at about 1,050 places of worship, and we have been looking at whether these places have been applying and also abiding by the quarantine measures. A majority of them have also been confirmed to have complied with the measures. However, 14 places have also breached these measures, and they will be faced with penalties and fines as well as other operation bans. And to this end, we also would like to continue to have continued negotiations and also communication with the religious circles going forward. And today we have the 301 members of the Cheonghae unit set to arrive to South Korea via an military aircraft. And first of all, I would like to apologize to all of the soldiers and their family members as well as the rest of the public for these massive outbreaks that have been occurred at the military unit. And also we will make sure that they are fully treated. And we have a joint response systems between the 3 branches of our military. And we are also confirming the conditions and the symptoms of these military personnel. And we also have fully prepared the hospital beds that they will be admitted to upon arrival. Immediately upon arrival in South Korea, they will be sent to these isolation facilities, including hospitals and life treatment centers, and they will also be having the PCR testings, and if they test positive, they will be receiving necessary treatment. And we will also make sure that they have full contact with their members of the family. And also all of the military members need to recover fully, and we will also make sure that they have a full recovery going forward, and their updates will also be shared with the rest of the public via our regular briefings. And together this morning, we also discussed our measures to bolster the quarantine measures at the department stores as well as large retail stores. And currently, we are banning all of the food sampling at these places, and we are also preventing any promotional events which could also have a rise in the number of risks of infection due to crowdedness. And as for individual stores, we are also having the electronic the entry log, and we are also restricting the number of people and the number of users there. However, we are also seeing some challenges in the management of the electronic the visitor log because there are a number of exits. And as for the latest cluster infections that have been appeared and emerged at a department store in the Gangnam-gu district, we also have made sure that the Gangnam district is in full monitoring and inspection of the further reasons of these outbreaks in that specific department store. And to this end, we are also going to have a close talk with the Gangnam-gu district office so that we can devise further guidelines. And lately, we have seen also reports of our celebrities who have been confirmed to have contracted with the COVID-19 virus. And we are also closely monitoring these issues. And lately, we are also seeing that these broadcasting stations have been fully complying with the quarantine measures. However, we would like to also note the importance of these compliance as well, especially because many people work at these specific sites. And we will also cooperate with the related ministries and also related public institutions and look into whether these facilities have been complying with the quarantine measures. And we were also going to ask for you to have regular PCR testings. And to this end, we are also going to restrict the number of visitors and audiences at these studios during our level 4 social distancing. And as of today midnight, we have a total of 1,242 new domestic infections and 36 new imported cases, adding to a daily tally of 1,278. We had one additional fatality. I extend my deepest condolences to the deceased and the members of the bereaved family. In order to have an effective curb on the fourth wave, it is very essential that we have continued public participation. And especially this fourth wave, we are also seeing the fast spread and the silent spread among family members and also members between the peers and colleagues as well as acquaintances. And we would also like to highlight the fact that we could be exposed to the virus at any time, at any place, and this is especially so in the metropolitan area. So we ask the members of the public to refrain having large group gatherings and also refrain from having travels in between regions and provinces. And especially indoor places that are frequented by people, it is very risky, and we could also have the elevated risks of infection, and thus we ask you to refrain from visiting these places. And we would also like to extend our deepest appreciation to all of you for your participation. My thanks also goes to all of the volunteers, medical professionals, and the volunteers who are working at the front lines to fight the virus. And the government will also like to extend our deepest efforts to contain the fourth wave. Thank you very much.
That was a government briefing on the COVID-19 situation here in the country. South Korea reported 1,278 new COVID-19 cases on Tuesday. The number of cases has increased by 26 from yesterday's figure. It has stayed above the 1,000 mark for 2 weeks. Daily infections outside the capital area have been taking up more than 30% of the total cases for 3 straight days. From 8 p.m. tonight, vaccine reservations for those aged between 50 and 52 will begin. We'll wrap up the coverage here. We'll be back at 12 p.m. Korea time for our midday news with Mark Broom. Bye for now.